But I'm fascinated by not just Van Vliet, but Van Vliet in combo with Thompson. And they already got Jalen Green. They already got KP Jr. So how are all four of them guys going to get burned next season?
So when you look at, we'll start with Fred VanVleet, obviously coming into the team as, that experience established veteran NBA point guard, is a former NBA champion. There's an understanding that he's going to bring that sense of control, sense of stability at the one. Then if you pair that with a guy in Jalen Green who is talented, he's already shown in his first 2 seasons what he's capable of. He's shown flashes of stardom at times, signs that he still needs to develop his game, and other times now coming off a Team USA stint where they got him to play on the ball, off the ball, and see how he can work with VanVleet. Now, the understanding I have with Kevin Porter Jr. is that the Rockets know, and they kind of knew this bringing him into the situation, but he can play on and off the ball. Like, he came in as a scorer, as a wing scorer, and they tried the whole thing of converting him to a point guard. It had its ups and downs, but the good thing about that whole stint was that it allowed him to get some reps on the ball. So even if he's not a quote unquote traditional playmaker, he can, create plays for others at times in the half court setting. Amen Thompson, he kind of has to have the ball in his hand, just given how he plays. He's not a good shooter. He has to be able to facilitate and see the floor. So there are lineups that may feature, 3 of those guys, because VanVleet, although he is a traditional lead ball handler, he can also function off the ball, having seen him play alongside Pascal Siakam, alongside Scotty Barnes, Gary Trent Jr., stuff like that. So you may see lineups with, Fred, Jalen, and Kevin, just because of, Kevin was their best shooter last season. Ime has stressed, floor spacing and guys that can knock down outside shots. So the good thing about having those guys in your backcourt room is that you can mix and match certain things, given personnel, given matchups, and kind of see how to maximize the talent on the floor.
I still don't understand what Fred VanVleet was doing. I guess obviously getting the most money possible, but I felt like he could have gotten money other places. Maybe not the full, $44 million, but he would have gotten paid somewhere. Yeah. What do you think he sees in Houston that makes him say, yeah, I feel like doing this. Like, I'm gonna get paid, but I also feel like
income tax.
Yeah, is that what?
But the truth is, I really think that he aligns himself with Ime Udoka and what he brings, because as you've known, covering him for a while in this league, Ime has that kind of draw effect on players where you want to play for that guy, you want to run through a big wall for him. And Fred, coming off a kind of a down year in Toronto, looking for somewhat of a career reset, a different, I guess, task. He's already won an NBA championship. I don't think this is the generation of players that say they got to go win 5, 6, 7 titles. Like, if you get your 1 or your 2, I think a lot of players would be perfectly fine with that. So being able to take on a new challenge and lead a young group of guys to, hopefully the playoffs and afterwards, I think that's kind of what aligned with Fred, because on the surface, it does look pretty confusing. Like, you're 29, 30 years old, you're quote unquote in the prime of your career, and you're going to a rebuilding project. So it on the surface, it looks kind of confusing, but when you dive into, I guess, the belief system with Ime and the whole project that they're building, it kind of makes more sense.
Yeah, DA, I guess that money is, I guess the only other player to leave the team and get a big deal as a guard anyway was looks like Bruce Brown's $22 million. Everybody else was staying home
but it is, it is unusual. Most people go get the bag, but Houston was such a difficult rebuild.
It was a mess.
It really is. It's a mess, right? Yeah. And boy, he could have maybe made 60% of what he's making in Houston and been on a contending team, But look, they could have traded him too. So Toronto, look, they didn't trade him.
Yeah, it's both sides of the coin.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they should have traded him when they had the opportunity to. They let him get the free agency, so that's on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do understand. Once you let a guy walk, he's like, all right, let me go get this bag somewhere. But it's going to be that's four dudes that need the rock, man.